a slim body.
Adele.
But as soon as he said that, I'm like, Adele.
All right, then how about think of somebody who doesn't
Meatloaf.
conform? Yeah. Think of somebody who doesn't conform to like a normal like standard of like what's like attractive. We got Adele and Meatloaf, right?
Well, Adele's pretty in the face, I think, but she's overweight, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, you're too young for that.
Yeah. So we don't.
Look
So we have. So, I mean, like, but overweight or like is still like considered not attractive. Or am I wrong? Is overweight considered?
It depends on what culture you're in. Honestly.
In this culture, right now.
This culture.
Westernized culture.
Yes.
But
It's changed.
it's changed now. Now it's fluffy. But yeah. But like, I mean, picture somebody else, you know, or imagine somebody else, or imagine everybody. Think of somebody who's a celebrity. Like think of like the first like 10 celebrities that come to your head. Okay. I mean, keep going. Most of them fit into almost the same mold, right? And most of them are either like praised for it or like knocked down because of it. Like you'll never see a picture of Kim Kardashian looking average. You'll either see her looking like fantastic with like Photoshop and like all the light in the right places, or you'll see her like completely trashed, you know, like all like her hair all over the place, just like not looking good.
Oh, they'll be
Right?
like, can't makeup.
And people will, and they'll focus on it, right? Because the magazines do that, and like the news does it, you know. Like nobody says like, oh man, look at Lady Gaga and her, I don't know, her innie belly button. You know, nobody says like, oh man, she had like a slightly different color shirt on than she did shoes. They didn't match appropriately, or like whatever. You know, like they focus on what she looks like. You know, as opposed to like the dance move, or like maybe they focus on the dance move, but they focus on what she looks like and what like clothes she wears. You know, and like picture like a Coca-Cola ad. You know, like did Britney Spears do that for a while? Maybe Pepsi. But when she was drinking a Pepsi, what was she doing? I mean, she looked good and she felt good. You know, right? What do they do? They do that with like clothes too, right? Right? Like if you're wearing a certain type of clothes, like if you're wearing like a I don't know, I'm not really. But like if you're looking like you're wearing like a Lululemon thing, you're definitely going to yoga and you're feeling good and you're very spiritual. And it says something about you, right? And it says something about you to wear those clothing because the advertisements do very, very well in what they tell us, right? What about fitness products, right? If you're taking this certain supplement, if you're doing this certain workout, if like you're doing like T25 or something like that, you're feeling really good about yourself. You're gonna be like one of those people in the background, sweating their asses off, but like they have a six-pack and they're super ripped, right? Like it's not the product, right? It's what the product brings you or what the product says about you, you know. So if you have like a, you know, like what a Louis Vuitton bag, you're like high status, you know. If you feel
The thing is, like with looks, like it all comes down to like what we're talking about. Is like, well, why is it like we're looking at them? Because that's what you see first. You don't see a personality first. You don't see values. You don't see what they're thinking. You just see them.
it's easy, right?
So it's like saying, like, let's just erase everything that's going on today, and let's just take us back when we used to hunt in the woods, right? If we seen like another tribe, oh, we know them. That's our tribe. You know what? They're a different color, or they look different. Oh, watch out, because they're not familiar. You know what I mean? And then if they see a beautiful woman, they're probably gonna hit her over the head and take her back. You know what I mean?
Why is she beautiful?
It's just by our nature, though. Like,
but what's beautiful? Like, there's great
what's
variation.
beautiful on a woman?
Wait, there's
like,
a great variation in body type and size. And I would love if our fossils taught us more about what these people actually look like. Because, like, okay, I walk dogs, right? I walk these two dogs. They're both labs. Yeah. They're both healthy. Yeah. One weighs 10 pounds more than the other and looks a little bit more chunky. But one is an American lab and one is a British lab. Yeah. So like the British labs have shorter faces, like more square and more stocky.
Yeah.
Totally healthy, eat the same thing, live in the same family, like, but they just have two different body types, two different kind of shapes and sizes. So like, does some German Shepherd come out of there and be like, well, Abby looks better than Bella?
What
Like,
do you got?
what do you know, there's a real serious variation. So there's like...
So like, you know like what makes a male look like a male and a woman look like a woman? Like,
Yeah.
women have like hips
Yes,
and
of
breasts,
course.
and men have jaw, like muscular, like, you know what I mean? So generally that's what we're attracted to. So like if I put a picture up of Brad Pitt, most women are gonna think he's handsome, and he is. Because aesthetically everything measures out, he looks manly. And then if I put a picture up of, I don't know, like,
Dan DeVito.
who is it?
Dan DeVito.
Dane DeVito or like Woody Harrelson, they're gonna be like, no, because they don't look, they still look like a man.
But the question-
it's not like the
But look at, okay, you
characteristics of, like,
put Allen Iverson and Kevin Garnett next to each other, they have two different shapes and sizes. Like, you put, like, Vince Wilfork next to, like,
I think
Julian Edelman. Like, there's just, what I'm saying is there's a great variation. And as much as there's a variation in what people like and want. You know what I mean?
The question is, like you said before, what's beautiful? Like, what is beautiful? Because there's a certain thing that society or like cultural says is beautiful, and there's certain things like that individuals say is beautiful, but that usually is overrun by what society says.
Yeah.
And then what Annie was saying before, and actually Laura too, there was other cultures that define beauty or define attractiveness in other ways, right? Like some, what is it? Like the Chinese foot binding thing. It was really attractive to have really small feet, right? You remember, you guys ever hear about that? The binding thing that they would, like, you know, at a young age, they would just bind their feet and because it was attractive to have small feet. Why, I don't know, but that's their culture, and everybody thought that way because that's what they were told. And like pale skin because you didn't have to work a lot, and actually being obese was also attractive because it meant you had the means. It meant you had the other people do like labor for you. It made you were well fed. Those are really attractive things, to be healthy and to have the means to pay other people to do your hard labor for you. Those are very attractive things, but they are presented in two different ways, right?
It's like, even in my lifetime, like growing up in the 80s and 90s, like, yes, breasts and hips are very attractive, but Kate Moss, the woman that played Ally McBeal, like, I grew up in a time where it was heroin chic. That was the term, heroin chic.
What's that mean?
It meant that if you looked like you were strung out on drugs, that was the hottest you could be. So, like, I grew up having curves. I grew up having a body type where that was unattainable. You can't, like, ungrow boobs, you know what I mean? So it was like mosquito bites and like a straight up and down physique was like what was popular.
So I was never like, I'll get a little personal here. I've had my tastes in women over the years, and it's been a scale, but it's never been anorexic and it's never been obese.
Right. And
It's always been, they look like a woman.
Yeah.
And it's like shapely, maybe it's 20 pounds heavier or less, or it's more fit, or it's more fluffy, but it's still a woman. You know what I mean? So
I totally get it. But
so,
you know,
but the two extremes is not right. I don't think like
For you.
For me, but if you notice, like look at, I mean, this is like weird, porno, all right? There's all different sub-weird genres.
Yes.
But then you got obese women, and then you got anorexic, and those are considered like fetishes almost.
No, they are.
Because most guys don't like that.
Did you ever take statistics? Are you familiar with the bell curve?
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan can tell you about the bell curve, but anything in life, the lines at the grocery store, the prices of automobiles, all of this the shit you just described, like this skinny, fat, middle, blah blah blah. There's a bell curve, and in statistics, anything that's exactly in the middle of the bell curve is the most common, and as you go out to the sides, it's the least common.
Everything
so like,
we're talking about,
yes, you're right. Like most men are like you and have a certain ideal range of women, but you're right, there are outliers.
So like,
and if you look at porn, you see like the teenage girls have like 15,000 or whatever, and the anorexic people or the extremely obese people, there's like 40 videos.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly.
So it's like when we say like what is beautiful, there's like two definitions. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? And then it's what the majority says is beautiful because who's judging it? We are. We're calling it beautiful. If no one else is, I don't know who. So it's based on the majority who says it's beautiful. Then you'll break it down to culture because that is true. And some countries, guys like thicker woman, some like skinnier, some like blacker, some like whiter.
So who's we? Depends on the culture, right?
The culture, yeah.
What the culture is saying. Yeah. If the culture wasn't there, then what's beautiful?
I can remember when I was.
Where does what's beautiful come from? If it's not from the culture, where is it supposed to come from?
I can remember when I was 3 years old, on watching MTV, Madonna performing "Like a Virgin," okay, and I got aroused. When I was 3 years old. No, I'm sorry.
You are getting personal.
So like, what does that tell you, though? What does that tell you? I had no reference.
But she was being extremely provocative. If you saw her,
but she was a pretty woman.
Yes, she's beautiful.
Not intended.
But she was selling a product. She was being extremely provocative, selling a product. If you saw her standing on a stage singing her song without the wedding dress with the boy toy belt and big hair and makeup, like it would just be a song. You know what I mean? Like I remember being 5.
Well, if it was
like watching Madonna and thinking watching her and like kind of trying to figure all that sexuality stuff out.
Yeah,
we notice it and we learn it. And you're right, 3, 5, 2, whatever ages. We are taking it all in before we even understand any of it. Yeah. And our personalities are fully formed by the time we're 5.
Yeah.
Before we understand anything. Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. There's just so many things that go into it.
The question is, though, why do we think that way? Right? Like, why do we think, like, one way or the other? It's if culture wasn't there, what I was saying, if culture wasn't there to tell us what to think, what would be attractive? It would be whatever we thought was attractive, which may or may not be a bell curve. It probably would be a bell curve.
It would be a bell curve because it would be based on fertility.
It would be based on
based on your mother too.
Maybe, or what you're most common or whatever. But like, it wouldn't be cultural based, but it is. Like now it is, right? Because we're looking at like we see obesity as being like negative, or we see obesity as the focus. Like we have to like decrease the prevalence of obesity in America because why? Well, it doesn't really, as we saw before, it's not a big bang for a buck, right? It doesn't directly get at root causes. It doesn't prevent diseases all that great, right? So why do we focus on it? Well, we'll probably focus on it for all these reasons, right? We focus on it because like celebrities, you meet like the magazines say 5 easy tips to lose weight here or whatever. Katy Perry lost 10,000 pounds or whatever. It's a good thing to lose weight. People are slim. Like you don't see overweight celebrities that often. You'll see more slim, toned, whatever celebrities than you would overweight celebrities. And with 2/3 of Americans being overweight, that's not representative of our population. It can't be, right? So, like, and then we look at we model celebrities. People in Fiji wanted to be like the celebrities, right? And they never thought twice about what they look like, right? The media tells us the media is our outlet, right? Looks, like Blake was saying, looks are easy. The first thing that we see on somebody is their looks, and it's easy to pick apart somebody, especially if we're not feeling all that secure about ourselves, or if we just kind of want to, I don't know, be like the person. Who knows? But that's the easiest thing to look for. Okay. And then research. Why does research tell us to focus on it? If in reality obesity doesn't relate to any diseases as directly or as efficiently or as likely as other factors like poor diet, high salt intake, obese or occupation, things like that, if they don't relate as well, then why does research focus on it? Well, imagine running a study and trying to look at how police officers, or how somebody eats relates to heart disease, right? Imagine doing that. How would you do it? Like, you don't even have to be researchers. You have to follow that person around all day, see what to eat, measure how much to eat, know what kind of content is in that meal, whatever, track their activity. That includes daily activity, that includes recreational activity, that includes structured activity. All those things aren't the easiest thing to measure, right?